feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Now here comes Svechnikov as the Canes connect the dots. Svechnikov, and that got the medal. It's worked here for Jarvis. Jarvis' shot, that goes off the crossbar. Now another chance, and that's Roslovic, and he rings it off the post. As a chance by Gostisbehere rings off the post. You can hear that all the way at the National Mall.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
I feel like we should get Brendan Marks and run some Entertainment Tonight music.
Oh my gosh, I still have to check and see. Did you watch?
No, I didn't watch.
Oh.
I didn't watch. I wanted to, and then because it's going to sound weird. Entertainment Tonight, Inside Edition, anything that is on E or Bravo or any one of those channels.
Yeah.
It isn't part of my normal day.
Same.
So I never did actually seek it out. Although I wouldn't mind going back and check out Brendan's appearance on Entertainment Tonight or whatever it was.
I don't
Was it
either.
Entertainment Tonight?
Yes, it was ET.
But
I didn't see it. I meant to DVR it.
Is Hart what was her first name?
Oh gosh.
Is she she's still the
start
host?
with a B, maybe.
Betsy? No, it's not Betsy. Barbara? No, not Barbara. Beatrix? Not Beatrix.
And Wilson. Nancy Wilson.
What?
Hart? Like the band?
No. Her last name is Hart.
Oh, okay.
See,
I immediately went to
host
rock
of
music.
Entertainment Tonight.
I was like,
My
like
gosh.
Pat Benatar. I saw them together, Pat Benatar and Hart. It was a long time ago, pre-pandemic.
I saw Joan Jett once.
Oh, yeah, me too.
So,
She's still getting it.
I think the Joan Jett and the Blackhearts opened up for the Police at a show I saw obviously a long time ago. All right, before we get started and talk about Game 2, just a couple of quick thoughts. By the way, it's the Adam Gold Show. We're on YouTube. You go to YouTube, just search out Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. Either way, you get to us. If you want to see what we're doing, get to see Victoria when she's on Mike. I think there's like a 4-second trigger.
Yeah.
Like if she talks for a few seconds, boom, there she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then otherwise, like right now, where she's just, you don't see that.
No, but I've already tackled the Friday on our stream. So
Have you?
I've
See,
already
look,
told
she's
everyone.
on screen right now. She's on screen right now. There you go. So if you want to see this, youtube.com. So if you're out of town, maybe your radio's broken, but you have access to a phone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm making stuff up
That
here.
works.
But you can watch the show. And everything is also available in podcast form when we're all done. Victoria sifts through it, picks out the best bits.
All of it.
Yeah. All right, so before we get going and talk about last night in Washington, Pablo, and we're not going to play the Pablo Torre clips now. We'll save those for a little bit later on, but we'll just give you the gist of it. You may have heard that Pablo Torre, formerly of ESPN, now does a podcast called Pablo Torre Finds Out. He's very talented, he's very smart, and he is super resourceful. So I'm not doubting anything that he says here, but he, on his latest episode, which I don't know how much of it because I've not listened to it, but I have listened to the clips. I've watched the clips. I know our very own Tim Donnelly here has apparently listened to the episode.
I know, he's on it.
So, I don't know. If I had an extra 3 hours before my show started, I probably still wouldn't listen to the episode, but it would give me the option. I don't have that option. When I got up this morning, I'm like, what in the world is this? So
Yeah.
His breaking news, which he actually called breaking news, there were two bits of it, but essentially he says that Jordan Hudson, girlfriend of Bill Belichick, was banned. The university banned her from the football facilities.
24-year-old girlfriend. You forgot that part.
Yeah, but all of that.
They always preface it with.
There are other things involved in the story, but simply using just the bare bones facts. Girlfriend, like, I'm not going to get into the salacious part of this right now. I'm just trying to give people the basic facts here. Banned from the facilities, wasn't allowed to go, whether it's practice field, locker room, whatever, wherever you would want to go. She was banned by the university, according to Pablo Torre. There's more to his breaking news that the Belichick family is concerned because she is everywhere, doing everything, running his life, whatever. Okay, so that's the basic news here. And later on, we will delve into the weird stuff here, because there is weird stuff. The University of North Carolina has released their own statement.
Oh.
Because we knew a statement was coming. When this news comes out, the university is either going to say nothing, which means it's true, or they're going to release a statement, which, even though, and I'll read the statement in a sec, doesn't necessarily mean that it ain't true. All right, so here's the statement from the University of North Carolina. It is a statement from Carolina Athletics. While Jordan Hudson is not an employee at the university or Carolina Athletics, she is welcome to the Carolina football facilities. Jordan will continue to manage all activities related to Coach Belichick's personal brand outside of his responsibilities for Carolina football and the university. That's it. That is the only statement they have, the university has received or sent out with regards to this. So I have a couple of quick questions about this, and these are rhetorical since I'm not looking for, questions and answers. I'm going to give you some answers. Who would have the authority to ban Jordan Hudson from the football facilities? And keep this in mind. For lack of a better term here, Jordan Hudson is Bill Belichick's significant other. And I realize that people will have various other terms to describe Jordan Hudson, but she is the significant other. I would imagine she's wearing his class ring. So who would have the authority? First, let me just quickly finish that thought. Sally Brown wasn't banned from the UNC football facilities. Wanda was never banned from the UNC basketball facilities. And I'm not saying they ever did anything that would warrant this. You could certainly surmise that Jordan Hudson has involved herself in so many things and acted in such a way where maybe it would rise to the level of banishment. Okay, but regardless, the universities would never ban the wife, the spouse of a coach, a prominent coach at that. Okay, so who would have the authority to do that? Would UNC Athletics really have the authority to do that? Because based on the way the contract is structured, Bill Belichick, his direct report is not in UNC Athletics. His direct report is the chancellor. So would the chancellor go as far as to ban Jordan Hudson from the football facilities? Next, who wants to have that conversation with Bill Belichick? I'm just curious here. Who wants to have that conversation with Bill? Because that's an uncomfortable conversation, even if you believe it has to happen. Because you are going into this conversation not really knowing. Let me put this in a different context. Totally different context. There are a lot of people who think, you know what? I deserve more money for what I do. I'm going to go to the boss and say, I need more money to do what I do. When you walk in there, are you also considering this might not go the way I want it to go? Because I know people who have walked into a situation like that, demanded more money, and ended up getting significantly less, like zero. Like, you have to go. Give me your key card. So what kind of conversation? You have to be pretty confident that this conversation is going to go the way you want it. On top of the fact, are you sure Bill's coming alone? Might Jordan be with him for this conversation? Anyway, and would Bill even be open to the discussion? With all of that said, I have no doubt that the university is, what's the best way of putting this? Let's just use the tamest possible term, uncomfortable with this type of attention. They don't like the fact that their football program, which honestly has been turned over to Bill, but they don't like the fact that their football program is being covered in this way by these non-football, really, entities. So the university would like all of that stuff to go away. So I could certainly see UNC going, man, we got to get her out of here. But how do they do that while at the same time making sure that Bill's doing his job coaching?
It's messy.
Yeah, and I know everybody's going to talk about the buyout. The buyout is $10 million until June 1. Today is May 9th. You do the math. We've got 22 days, right? 22 days until June 1. In 22 days, the buyout is $1 million. Yeah, the university could move on if they want. Pay them $1 million, get the hell out. I think there's no chance of that happening. You can't do everything you have just done. You can't sign on for what you have just signed on for. And then just just moved on. I just think you are too far invested. I believe all parties are going to hopefully weather this, let it die down, and then let the football take over in August. August is a long way away. So, and we're going to play some clips of the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast in just a little bit, but we're going to get to the hockey matters as well. This whole thing is a bad PR look. Not really for UNC. It's a bad PR look for Bill. It's a terrible look for Bill. I don't even know that it's a terrible look for Jordan, but I also don't follow her on Instagram. I don't know what she's about other than she clearly likes attention.
Yeah, she may not have a look. Maybe this is her look.
And I don't know. And most of social media is about attention. I'm not using that in a derogatory way.
No,
this is how a lot of people make their living. That's how a lot of people, whether it's Dude Perfect, right? I mean, that's a viral thing. Bryce DeChambeau doing his, break 50 challenge.
Yeah.
Like all these things. I mean, there's a lot more good. I'm going to say a lot more. There's good and there's bad to it.
People dancing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I do like the recipes, but she's not making those kind of recipes on social media. Jordan Hudson, she's making like mermaid recipes with Bill Belichick on the beach.
Okay, yes, there is definitely that. All right, so I don't look I'm sure the university didn't ban her, but I also think that there might have been a conversation had. I don't know who's going to have it other than the chancellor. Chancellor goes, "Yo, Bill, can you do me a solid here," because that's how chancellors talk.
Yeah.
Do me a solid here.
Right.
Help a brother out.
Cut this out.
Yeah, just kind of tell Beta.
Yeah.
Just to back off a bit.
Let's not.
All right, just tell her to chill. And please.
All that.
Come on. All right. Other than that, and again, the clips you're gonna enjoy the clips a little bit later on. Right now, let's get to more serious matters. Woo! There's too much. There's just too much.
I know. A way to start a Friday. Or a Friday.
All right. First, let's hear a couple of things from Rod Brindamore, and then I'll give you some thoughts about what I saw last night. Carolina comes back from D.C., 1 game apiece with the Capitals. Game 1, great. Game 2, not great. Here's the head coach.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't certainly great, that's for sure, and I think that goes to, got to give Washington credit. I mean, they played a much better game, and the first goal was kind of a weird one. It goes off our defenseman for a breakaway. You don't really see that too often, but there was other plays that they could have scored too that would have made the game what it was. So we have to be better, that's for sure. We knew it was going to be hard, and having said that, we were still right in the game.
Carolina controlled the game until the first goal. Here's the head coach.
Well, I think that goal was a tough one because it's just the way it happened. There was nothing going on, and all of a sudden it's a breakaway off. We bang it off our own guy, and then that got them going, I think, for sure. And like I say, we hung in there, and then penalty, and they made a nice play on the power play, and now you're down 2, and I give guys credit. We had a couple of chances. We had get one back, and then we have a 2-on-1. Finally, we create one, and we didn't handle that very well. So you got to give them credit. They dug in, and we knew it was going to be like this. This is not surprising. So just got to regroup.
All right, here's Jordan Staal, the captain. I mean, again, the first goal. I'll describe it for you very quickly. Sean Walker's got the puck at center ice along the left wall. He's just trying to backhand flip it into the offensive zone, presumably to go off for a line change. That's all he's trying to do. But the flip hits Shane Gostisbehere in the side of the face, and it bounces back towards Carolina's net, and Connor McMichael, Washington forward, faster than anybody who was around him, got a step, breakaway, bar down, literally hits the bottom of the crossbar and Freddie Anderson. It's just a great play by them, but it's a scoring chance born out of nothing. From that point, though, Jordan Staal.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Obviously, you take one in the face and they go for a breakaway. So that stuff happens. We're trying to get it on them too and trying to do the right things, and it goes the wrong way. But I think that first period we kept at it, but we kind of lost what we like to do, and we tried a few different plays and kind of really didn't wear them down. And like I said, they got some momentum and they got some confidence, and they started playing their game, and we started getting our heels a little bit.
All right, so it might have been hard to hear Jordan Staal, but I'll give you my thoughts on that in just a second. Game 1 and 2 starts looked very similar. I don't think Game 2's first period was nearly as dominant as Game 1's, but you're not going to see that very often at all. Game 2, Carolina was clearly the better team in the first period. Again, not as dominant in Game 1. But it was very similar in this way. No goals were born out of it. And let me just stop right here, because to me, I have a concern that you could play those two first periods and get no goals. And it wasn't like the goaltender in either case, same guy by the way, was standing on his head. There were no moments where you went, how the heck was that not a goal? For instance, Anthony Beauvillier for Washington, now twice in the series, by the way, should have had a goal and didn't. One, Anderson makes a great save in game one. And two, yesterday, although it was in the second period, Beauvillier just misses the net. And the net was empty, so it should have been a goal. But there were no moments like that for Carolina, which suggests to me maybe a little bit of a larger issue that Carolina finds themselves in. When you play that way in a first period and don't get anything out of it, and we've seen this before, these are doors left open. In almost every case, now we're in the second round of the playoffs. If you don't take advantage, to a certain extent, of your opportunities, you are asking to lose. First period, game one, the fact that Carolina wasn't in the lead was alarming. They fell behind. They got it even in the third and won it in overtime. They were the better team, deserved to win. Last night's game was, by and large, an evenly played game. But when you had the best of it, you didn't get anything out of it. So what you did was you left it up to chance. Second periods in each game, very similar. Washington isn't doing anything, and then all of a sudden, Carolina makes a mistake. Game one, it was Shane Gostisbehere trying to keep a puck in the offensive zone. He lets it get past him. Alexi Protas picks it up fast. Boom. Great shot. 1-0 Washington. Washington had about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of really good play right after that, and then the Hurricanes snapped right back to it and started doing their thing. Last night they didn't. Washington was significantly better than Carolina in the second period, and that was a problem. Now, Washington didn't get another goal out of it, so all the things I just said about Carolina, same can be true about the Capitals. The Capitals, by only getting that one goal, left the door open. 1-0 going to the third. We've been here before. Carolina can get one. Maybe they do exactly the same thing. Unfortunately, that third period power play goal, and I know I saw some people saying it wasn't a penalty on Brent Burns. I think it was. It's fine. You're still allowed to kill the penalty. It wasn't a terrible play by Brent Burns. It was just a hooking penalty. It happens. Dmitry Orlov committed a penalty in, I think, the second period, which I actually thought was unnecessary because he didn't have to commit a penalty to prevent a scoring chance.
No.
All he had to do was cut him off. You could have allowed, forget who the player was, to get to the puck. You could have allowed him to get to the puck rather than try to prevent it and then just cut him off defensively. You could have done that, but Orlov committed a penalty, but that didn't score. They didn't score on that power play. They scored on the power play, first power play goal the Hurricanes have allowed in the playoffs. So now it's 2-0, and it's not over. Carolina did score a power play goal with about 10 minutes left. Shane Gostisbehere getting that. And they had plenty of time to get the equalizer, and they had chances. They just didn't make good on them.
I was waiting for the penalty kill record to die, too, because they just kept talking about it.
Because Ben sat here yesterday and talked about it.
Thanks.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I'm like, it's not going to happen because Stat Boy Ben was here talking about it. Anyway,
gotta work on them stats now, Ben.
Exactly. And we'll have more from Ben later. He texted me some things. Anyway, here's the thing about it. What was the difference last night? The only difference last night was the goofy, lucky opportunity Washington got. Each team scored a power play goal. The difference in the game was Sean Walker hitting Shane Gostisbehere in the side of the face with the puck and it going the other way for a breakaway try. That was the difference in the game. This series was always going to be even. But my initial point, to me, is important. Of course it is important. I made it. When you're going to get starts like that, stylistically, it's all well and good unless you don't get anything tangible out of it, and they got nothing tangible out of it. All they did was hem Washington in. for the 20 minutes at the start of each game. And again, game 1 was more egregious than game 2, but they still needed to get something out of game 2. Couple of more quick concerns before we break. Sean Hill is going to join us on the other side. In game 1, the top line was awesome in terms of puck possession. They generated some scoring chances. Andrei Svechnikov hit the crossbar twice, but they had the puck all game. So the line they were playing against, Dubois, Wilson, McMichael, they did nothing in the game. They had combined for 3 shot attempts in the entire game, playing against Aho, Svechnikov, and Blake. Well, yesterday, and so even though Aho, Svechnikov, and Blake were not on the score sheet in game 1, it was still a well-played game by them. Last night, Aho got on the score sheet. He had the assist on the Gostisbehere goal, or one of the assists on the Gostisbehere goal. That line wasn't as good, and it showed because if you think about it, who was the best player in last night's game? Tom Wilson. By a fair amount, Tom Wilson was the best player in the game last night. And they didn't do great things offensively, but they were just significantly better than they were in game 1. So that advantage was lost. The Aho, Svechnikov, Blake advantage was lost. And for the second straight game, that line was sort of absent from really good scoring chances. There were a few, but that line wasn't constantly noticeable. And your top line has to be. Carolina's got to get production. Even if we're talking about intangible production, they must get that from the top line, and they didn't. Third defensive pairing, Gostisbehere, Walker, mostly Gostisbehere, has been a little bit of an issue. In fact, through 2 games, both goals through the run of play, the 5-on-5 goals, the Protas goal and the McMichael goal, although we all understand the McMichael goal was a fluke. Third pair was on the ice, and there were other chances given to Washington for no reason with the third pair on the ice. That has to get better, and I'm sure it will, by the way, in game number 3. All right, let's step aside there. Sean Hill is going to join us on the other side. Number 22 in programs past, if you will. Former Hurricanes legend Sean Hill joins us next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, now that we got that warm and fuzzy welcome back series over with New Jersey, it's now time to dig deep, folks, and find your best, bless your heart, for the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rough series. Get ready. A roller coaster ride is coming, and remember, you don't have to cheer Ovi. He's already got the record.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Carolina RV Super Show is coming to you. Join us at any Camping World in North Carolina or South Carolina, May 15th through the 18th, to shop ridiculous discounts on the best selection of new and used RVs in the Carolinas. Tour new 2025 RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Enter to win a new RV and enjoy family fun and on-site activities. Don't miss the Carolina RV Super Show at your local Camping World, May 15th through the 18th. Get all the details at campingworld.com/Carolina RV Super Show.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-466-1142. 800-466-1142. 800-466-1142.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health-friendly workplace.
Whether we're a CEO, manager,
coworker,
or someone with a mental health condition ourselves.
So what can I do to help?
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
This is Adam Gold.
He said he could talk about his golf game. He did say it wasn't great, and I said, hey, no judgment here. I'm a drive shacker and a putt-putter myself.
None of us are good. Even those of us that are good aren't really good.
Right, yeah.
We're just not.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Friend of the program, I'm just going to refer to him as B, informed me that it was Mary Hart was the Entertainment Tonight, longtime Entertainment Tonight host, along with John Tesh.
Yes.
And I don't know what Mary's status is, professional or otherwise, but if you were a baseball fan and you ever watched games at Dodger Stadium, she had season tickets behind home plate, often sitting next to Larry King, although they were not together. Their tickets were simply very close to each other. They were always seen in the background if you were watching Dodgers games.
I see now.
Yeah, big Dodgers fan.
There
Mary
you go.
Hart. So there you go. All right, last night, Game 2. I'm already ahead of myself. Game 3 is tomorrow. Game 2, Washington, D.C., 1-1 in the series now after a 3-1 Washington win. We bring in Sean Hill, Hurricanes legend, a defenseman back in the day, now just a huge fan and a maker of fine sandwiches. All right, sir, what was your general thought about what we watched in D.C. last night?
I would say I didn't really love it, but at the end of the day, you look at it, we still had a chance to win the game. We had them in a bad spot in the third period. We were buzzing, and when we got it to 2-1, and I feel like there should have been a couple penalties called on them that weren't.
Yeah.
And that's my stance on it. We didn't play our best, but we still had a good chance. We were right there. And you know what? If you can do that on the road, come out of there with a split. And I felt like we played a really good, solid game the first game. We weren't quite firing on all cylinders yesterday, but we still had a good shot. So that shows that we are a really good team. And we still gave ourselves a legitimate chance to win, even though we didn't have our A game.
Sean Hill is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. Speaking of penalties that should have been called, Ray Ferraro mentioned this, and his positioning during these broadcasts is between the benches. It's a great vantage point from which to watch the game. I don't understand, other than Carolina was already on the power play, how Tom Wilson can grab Andrei Svechnikov around the shoulders and throw him to the ice and that not be called. It was mind-blowing to me. They went to the break, and Ray Ferraro said, I'm really not sure why that's not a penalty, and that's probably the mildest way you can put it. What were your thoughts when you saw that, if you saw that?
I think I saw it. Did he also do something similar to Aho, or do I have the wrong guy?
No, he did, but to me, the stuff that he and Aho were engaged in was, I thought, pretty much normal, post-whistle shenanigans that you don't want to see called in the playoffs.
Right. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up, but I thought he had Aho around the neck / under the arm.
He did. He had him in a headlock, but that was, again, it was basically as the whistle was about to be blown. I didn't think it impacted anything. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm fine with the face wash stuff, but when someone gets somebody in the headlock and is like showing some dominance, has a definite upper hand, I think that's the point when we might need to have something called. But the Spetch thing, I could not believe that a penalty wasn't called. I mean, Tom Wilson's got to have something on whoever the ref was. I mean, and granted, now I'm not crying over
right.
it, but Tom Wilson also had one time, and I can't remember who was on the receiving end, but it would have been a great hit, except for the fact that he left his feet. I mean,
Martinook.
He's 4 inches off the. I think he did it to Marty. I think he did it one other time on the other side of the ice, and he's 4 inches off the ice, launching himself into guys. It's one thing if you get deep knee bend and you're doing an upward motion and you catch body before your feet come off the ice. I mean, he's like literally in the air as he's making contact with chest, shoulder, chin, which is, I mean, it should be a penalty all day long. But that being said, Tom Wilson was the best player on the ice last night. Most impactful. And he could have, he made a pass that was a highly, highly skilled pass on the PP. He made 3 or 4 Norris winning plays on defense, blocking shots, sliding out. I mean, he was great. If you're on our side of it, he should have been in the box many times. If you're on their side of it, you had the best player on the ice, and that's what you need to have.
Yeah, and there's no question about it. Sean Hill is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I try, when I do the podcast and even the intermission reports, I try not to highlight players from the other team, but sometimes it's notable. Tom Wilson was the reason Washington won the game last night. The denial of scoring chances. Jordan Staal could have had 2 goals in the first period were it not for Tom Wilson.
Yes, totally agree. And that's what Tom Wilson has morphed into.
Mm-hmm.
When he first came in the league, it was his toughness and his physicality that got him to the league. And then I don't know Tom Wilson at all, and I don't know many guys on the Caps, but I got to imagine he's done a ton of work after practice and stuff to go from beating you with his fist to being able to beat you with his shoulder and his saucer passes and his vision and his, defense. And so good for Tom Wilson, man. He's become a real unique player in this league. There's not, there's very few like him, and I think he's the best at the combo of what he does with adding a really nice amount of skill with an overload of toughness and knowing when to, let it out. And I mean, he's a problem.
No, there's no doubt, and you have to be aware because he will, as you pointed out, leave his feet to try to make it, to deliver a hit, which if there's contact with it, would be a penalty. I've always wondered why we only penalize the result as opposed to the intent. Like when Jacob Markstrom swings his stick at Andrei Svechnikov and just happens to hit his own teammate, which, I mean, was funny if you're not Cody Glass. Why isn't the act of swinging the stick a penalty? Why? Like if you miss, I don't get why you should. No, that's fine. He didn't actually make contact, but if that were Andre's leg, it maybe would have been a 5-minute major because it's just swinging a goalie stick at an opponent. But I don't know. It's maybe I'm looking at things the wrong way. Sean Hill is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. When I go back and I think about games 1 and 2, and I think to me it's the most disappointing thing is that you play those 2 first periods, and admittedly the first period of game 1 was better than the first period of game 2, but last night Carolina's first period they were much better than Washington, and they didn't get anything out of it. How much does that maybe take away from the way you played and how much, better you were than the other team?
I mean, I think it's got to be a little bit frustrating. The first period in game 1 was obviously excellent. Washington was looking for a puck that their guys could play with, and they couldn't find it. And last night we were better again. I think probably people were wondering, like, when is the onslaught coming? You got to think Washington's going to bring everything they have in that first period, and I don't know if it was a result of us being pretty good or they just didn't come out like they wanted to, but it looked like it was a bit of a situation where they got out of the first period and they were like, you know what, we got to be the ones being the aggressors and we got to be pushing the pace. And then it came in the second period and they looked a different team that we hadn't seen yet from them in the series. So, but that being said, again, we still had a great shot down the stretch, a bounce here or there, a post here and there. And, I like, if I'm going glass half full, I'm looking at, we didn't have a great game in game 2 and we were still right there down the stretch and easily could have tied that game up several times and a call here and a bounce there. And, I think you got to be pretty bullish going into game 3.
All right, let me ask you a couple of more quick questions. One, the Hurricanes had a 2-on-1 late. Taylor Hall and Logan Stankoven were in the 2. I know there were trailing players. I think Carolina might have had another player just a little bit ahead of the play, but it's basically a 2-on-1. Does Hall wait too long to make the pass, or was that just played in an elite fashion by Trevor Van Riemsdyk?
I think you're right. I think there was a guy coming late on that. I don't know how much room he had between, our third guy in the back pressure, but I'm going to defer to Taylor Hall on that. He's a highly skilled player. He's a former MVP. I think probably he makes that play more often than not. But then again, you're going up against Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who is he's a poor man's Jacob Slavin. He's a really good defender. And he's going to guess right and poke that stick at the right time, or bait him into trying to go through his triangle between his feet and his stick. And you know what? Good for Van Riemsdyk on making that play. I don't know if it was so much Halsey didn't make the play or Van Riemsdyk did, but unfortunately the result is the same. But I'll take it on Taylor Hall's stick in that situation again next game. I won't shy away from that. He's proven himself, and he's a great player, and that's not a bad guy to have in that position, and I'd do it again with him for sure.
No, he is he was here. We've pointed this out before. 5 Hurricanes played in the series against Washington in 2019, and one guy is on Washington that played for the Canes, and that's for Van Riemsdyk. There are 5 Capitals that played in that series for Washington, and there's one guy who played in that series for them who's now with us, Dmitry Orlov. It is just a weird coincidence between these two teams. Finally, for Sean Hill, have you ever tried to backhand lift the puck into the offensive zone, hit the face of your defensive partner, and have it go the other way for a breakaway?
No, I don't. I've done a lot of things that ended up in breakaways. I got a wide variety of choices for you on how I've given up breakaways, but that one I don't think I've done that. But you know what? Good for Ghost to step up and blast one home not long after that, even though he took that one in the chops. And that's just bad luck. I think that happens, and what do? It sucks. It sucks even more for Ghost because he's got a fat lip or nose, whatever it was, But that's kind of one of those deals. You're like, this is going to be tough to win tonight, but you keep on trying and you see if you get the bounce. Or, unfortunately, they got the bounce. But I don't know, man. It's a tough game out there. They're professionals too. They want to win.
Yeah.
So it was a good game. Like I said, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and I think Washington's going to be in for a little bit of a surprise with the energy level at Lenovo and the rush we get out of the gates. I think they'll be on their heels, and I just hope we can get the goal or two that'll give us a little breathing room and let us really, really get the Inferno going.
Yeah, the first goal. Mix in a first goal. If they do that, I think Carolina's in good shape, and Carolina's as good as there is in the league at not protecting the lead, but taking advantage of scoring the first goal. Sean Hill, Hurricanes legend, I appreciate your time, my friend. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow, but I will definitely talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Adam. You guys have a great weekend.
You got it. You got it. Sean Hill here on the Adam Gold Show. Getting that first goal. I'd have to go back and look at the numbers for the regular season. I don't think the Canes got the first goal more often than they gave up the first goal. Like, part of the beauty of game one was that they fell behind. The first goal didn't come until the second period. Was that even while they fell behind, they played the same way. And again, Washington's pocket of good play in game one was brief. It was more pronounced in game two. The second period, from the goal on, really controlled by the Capitals. Carolina had some moments in the rest of the second period, but for the most part, it was controlled by Washington. Third period, I thought Carolina got back to it after the power play goal. I think Washington might have just gone, all right, we got two. They can't score two. They were right. And we'll be fine. But Hurricanes had their opportunities in the third period. But, man, when you play well in the first period, you got to get something out of it. You just have to. It's like, for people who are baseball fans, it's like having a runner on third base with less than 2 outs, inning after inning after inning, and getting nothing out of it. Can somebody hit a sacrifice fly?
Or if bases are loaded.
Yeah. Can somebody, please?
Worst.
I just need a run.
Just one.
I need one run. Can somebody just put the ball in play? By the way, you know who plays this weekend?
Who's that?
I'll let you think about it.
Oh.
I'll let you think about it.
Okay. The Cubs lost real bad last time.
Miss Wrigley. I'll let you think about it, Miss Wrigley. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. One-timers next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
During the sports season, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling to and from athletic events. Wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. Prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. Remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
It's not about the cars, the speed, the action. It's not about the party or the long weekend. It's about them, the ones that gave everything. This Memorial Day weekend, we honor the fallen at America's Home for Racing.
The 66th running of the Coca-Cola 600.
Imagine a school where you can study AI and ancient Egypt, become a National Honor Student, join a cooking club, or code the next big video game, and do it all in a comfortable space. Your own home. Welcome to NC Cyber Academy, a K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school that provides you with a flexible, personalized education designed to prepare you for college and a career. Visit myncca.com and discover a learning experience that works for you, your family, and your future.
Every day, people battling addiction suffer in silence. Because of stigma, they fear judgment. They fear being labeled, and too often, they don't get the help they need. But you can help change that. Join the Governor's Institute and be a superhero in the overdose battle campaign. Learn how to break the stigma, support those in need, and save lives. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero to get involved. Be a hero, fight stigma, save a life.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today. To the people of North Carolina, for 70 years, you've helped to make PBS North Carolina a trusted friend in your home. We've watched history unfold with Henry Louis Gates Jr., explored new worlds with Mr. Rogers, and found treasures together on Antiques Roadshow. Your support has helped us continue teaching, entertaining, and inspiring generations. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
This is Adam Gold.
80-second mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes.
And I went, oh, that's why. That's why.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. Dan Wolken, USA Today, will join us next hour. The intent was to discuss Nick Saban as the co-chair of the Commission on College Sports that has been created by the White House. And lo and behold, we'll probably end up talking a little bit about UNC football as well. I'm sure Dan is so excited for that topic. Anyway, Dan is next hour. Right now, it's one-timers.
All right, so we do have some people on the YouTube stream.
Excellent.
You can always add some if we have some time. But kicking things off, Chef Wolf wants to know, what are your thoughts on the controversy around Brent Burns? Even though...
What's the controversy? No, seriously, what's the controversy?
This is all assumption. I don't know if it's just because he's getting a lot of heat, but I feel like you've also addressed that before.
Why would he get heat? I'm baffled by this. I mean, Brent Burns wasn't amazing last night, but he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what there's no controversy. My take is that there is no controversy.
Well, there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So next up, do you think the Hurricanes will bounce back? In my opinion, the Canes need to create better scoring chances rather than shooting through traffic majority of the time. This is not from me. This is from Luigi.
Right. No. But that's what they do. So they're not going to change their game. Like the quick point shots with traffic, that's by design. They're not going to change that. But I I've said they need to get a little bit more traffic in the way. I thought last night there was more traffic. It just didn't necessarily generate. I didn't think there was much traffic at all in game one. I thought Logan Thompson saw most of the long-range shots. I actually think their bigger problem last night was missing the target. There were plenty of chances they could have forced rebounds. That's what they haven't really been able to get to. They're getting to rebounds. That's what needs to change.
All right, moving on to William. Is it really going to take an injury to get Nikishin in to play, or will Ghost/Walker/Burns have to be even worse for him to get in?
Yes, it's going to take an injury. I know how good Alexander Nikishin might end up being. And we all get that. But the assumption that he would step onto the ice right now and be better than any of the players playing is fantasy. It's just not that easy, and when you don't speak the language, it becomes even more difficult. Communication is paramount. I'll tell you what. Now, Gostisbehere and Walker clearly had no communication on the play where Gostisbehere blindly passed the puck out in front. Walker didn't have a stick. And that was a bad idea. It's a bad idea even if Walker does have a stick, but he didn't have a stick, and there was no communication there. You got one more?
Okay, real quick, will Aho, Svetch, and Jarvis be on line one together again?
I don't know. I think Rod's got some options. He could leave Jack Roslovic centering the second line like he did for the chunk of the third period yesterday as well. But at home, you can do what you want. Be interesting to see.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before. Oh yeah! Big money! Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
WREL News at 6 is coverage you can count on. Get the biggest stories of the day and breaking news as it happens.
Plus, complete weather coverage of your town.
WREL News has everything you need when you need it, including this special report.
North Carolina's biggest tourist attraction hit by federal layoffs. From closed campgrounds to fewer emergency responders, WRAL investigates if Dozier's cuts could ruin your family's vacation. Monday at 6.
Caniacs, raise up. It's time to get loud. The Carolina Hurricanes are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Join Lenovo in cheering on our hometown team. Let's light the lamp and bring the Stanley Cup to the Lenovo Center.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at BaileyBox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lagos, and Ippolita, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the coast.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
Get in the hole! That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the Adam Gold Show.
Well, we know that you are the first person to come up with scheduling on the fly.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Even before it was done in the pandemic, and Coastal Carolina and BYU put a game together on Thursday and played it on a Saturday. Adam Gold was here first, and he said, we don't need to schedule these things out like this. Let's put together matchups that will create the good competition. The best teams play against the best teams. I hear you. I think that ultimately ACC is probably looking up at the conference that just had the best season ever and produced a national champion, and they're just putting in some monkey see, monkey do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Gold. Chip Patterson from yesterday. I'm sorry, Wednesday. Yesterday was Thursday. Got a hockey game tomorrow night in town.
I know. We'll both be there.
Look at you. Playoffs. Playoffs bring everybody out. It's good. There's a little bit of football stuff, a little bit of basketball stuff. We haven't talked about the other hockey series. Edmonton did it again, 6th consecutive come-from-behind win. Gave up the first goal. They scored the next 3, but they did give up the first goal again. That is now, I believe, 6 consecutive come-from-behind wins for the Oilers. They appear inevitable. Edmonton-Dallas conference final should be pretty good, I think. I don't believe Edmonton can survive with their goaltending defense, but they haven't even gotten the best out of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl yet.
That 5-minute major penalty kill that the Knights did last night was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, insane for a penalty that didn't need to happen, but it did. And oh my gosh, they still ended up losing. Like, how deflating is that?
Former Hurricane Nick Waugh committing that 5-minute major. Game misconduct as well. Still don't know how it wasn't a penalty on Victor Arvidsson for a trip in overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, stick between the legs of Braden McNabb, and he goes crashing into the boards. I don't know how that penalty is missed.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, when we had our conversation with Tim Peel yesterday, like, I get not wanting increased replay. I don't want replay at all. But when we have replay and we're not getting rid of it, if replay is there to correct mistakes, what's a bigger mistake than that?
Yeah.
It's an easy penalty to call if you see it. I don't know how you miss that. But then again, I don't know how you let goaltenders get hit like they get hit. Like, wide open. In some ways, I can understand the Sam Bennett call not being made because that was sort of through traffic and it was pretty subtle. There's nothing subtle about Timo Meyer versus Frederick Anderson. Nothing. The only question is, was he forced into Anderson? And you could have called it. You could have even called it 4-minute double minor if you wanted, and then looked at it and then wiped it out entirely. But there need to be mechanisms. If we're going to have replay, there need to be mechanisms to get those calls looked at. All right. Now, I promised earlier, audio bits. I mean, you can watch the videos as well, but if you're not watching on YouTube, actually, we're not going to show the video. We're just going to use the audio clip from the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast about the girlfriend of Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson. And we'll get into some of the other issues around this. And coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll talk to Dan Wolken of USA Today a little bit about this, but mostly about that commission, waste of time commission, I should say, in D.C. about further NIL restrictions. It's awesome. All right, let's run it back. Okay, so here's the deal. We started the show this way, and I think it's worth bringing up again. Pablo Torre Finds Out, podcast that is now run by former ESPN host, writer, Pablo Torre. Super smart guy, obviously industrious, has sources, all of that. And this is how the podcast begins about Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. It's the very early part of Pablo Torre Finds Out.
A couple of breaking news updates since what has happened publicly since we last gathered. Number one, okay? Two sources at the University of North Carolina tell me that there has been a decision, it was made last week, by the higher-ups inside the athletic department that had hired Bill Belichick to be the highest-paid public employee, not just coach, in the state of North Carolina at $10 million a year. And that decision was that Jordan Hudson is no longer allowed in the football building.
Okay.
She is not allowed on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, don't think you'll be hearing much from Jordan moving forward. The second update is that Bill Belichick's family is extraordinarily concerned about what has transpired. One Belichick family source told me, quote, there is deep worry for how detrimental Jordan can be for not just North Carolina, but Bill's legacy, reputation, everything he has built and worked for over decades, end quote. In fact, the family has been digging into Jordan Hudson as well.
All right. Couple of things about that. One, because of the way the contract is written, Bill Belichick's direct report is the chancellor. So even though the athletic department technically oversees football, anything that would have to do with the head coach, and in this particular case, Jordan Hudson is would be under the umbrella of the head coach. Everything would have to go through the university's administration, the chancellor's office, not Bubba Cunningham. And Bubba Cunningham is sitting around going, woo, I'm glad this ain't mine to deal with. I promise you this. I have no inside information, but we know Bubba Cunningham well enough to know that he is thrilled. He has to deal with these issues, but he does not have to deal with Bill and Jordan directly because he's not the direct report. The only way it would be Bubba Cunningham's responsibility is if the chancellor went, yeah, Bubba, you need to handle this. And Bubba should say, you know what? I don't think I do. He doesn't report to me. But again, that's probably also just a set of uncomfortable conversations that nobody wants to have. The other part of this, the family concern, I get. But that would be a concern whether he was the head coach at UNC or not, right? So I fail to see the connection to UNC football. I know all of this is upsetting because it is just so freaking bizarre. Everything about this is bizarre.
I don't think anyone predicted this when we got Bill Belichick. that we would be seeing this kind of drama.
Especially since, for the most part, Bill is just football. Okay.
Yes.
Now, also remember this, and this will be the second video. Bill spent a year away from coaching, and in that year away from coaching, he took advantage of some promotional opportunities, including a 7-figure commercial deal. Video 2.
As of the summer of 2024, Jordan Hudson was not in charge of everything. But there was one famous story that was witnessed by, I am told, dozens of people, including freelance contractors who were hired to work on the set for a 7-figure scripted commercial. And yes, we're talking about another expensive commercial shoot here.
This is Belichick. Talk to me.
Double B.
Tyrese.
What's good with these wideouts?
He's going to get in the end zone, no doubt about that.
My man. William, answer the phone.
Billy B, my man.
Cam.
How's QB1 looking?
It's looking more like QB3.
My body rejects that.
What I am told by multiple people among the dozens who witnessed the shooting of this is that what happened that day on set was, quote, highly unusual. Jordan Hudson, who was at the time like a person they kind of heard about, but again, this is last summer.
Yeah.
Not quite the entity that we know now, nothing close, had arrived on set and started immediately pitching herself for a role that had not been discussed in this scripted 7-figure commercial shoot. That would also serve as, quote, the hard launch of their relationship.
All right. I'll pick up the rest of it here. We can go on for another 2 minutes listening to this, and there's a lot of crosstalk. Ultimately, by this point, the commercial shoot was done already, but they appeased her and apparently recorded parts of a commercial that do not exist. And in the piece, Pablo Torre said that one of the people who worked on the commercial shoot said that one of the cameras was probably not even actually on.
Right.
That they used, which is funny. But she was in a yellow polka dot bikini and a hat, and her plan was to try to distract Bill while he was doing these things. Whatever. I also can't verify any of this to be factual.
No, but it would be on brand.
Oh, absolutely. But again, this story is an annoyance to the university. An annoyance to them. They wished that it would not be part of what's going on right now. But right now, there is a void of college football news of any kind. And here's what we know. And this is why I have said, and I don't care how many people say that I'm wrong, we will never, with this, if this stuff didn't even exist, we will never see, going into a season and during a season, more attention paid to a singular football program than will be paid to UNC football this year, because Bill Belichick draws eyeballs not just of college football, but of pro football. He is a celebrity. It would be almost like Ryan Reynolds being your head coach. Bill is a celebrity, whether he has a personality or not. And I think we found out over the course of the last football season when he was on Peyton Manning during those, Manning shows, that there is a personality there. He is funny. He's super smart. He's a great football coach, all of that. But the attention, because we have a void of news right now, the attention is going to be anything. It's sort of like, soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana and it's attracting all these gnats. Because that's appropriate. No one likes a gnat.
There's a joke in there, something about an overripe banana and Jordan Hudson. No. Let me just say one more thing, because the other part of the story is this. And I was not aware of this until reading about this. I know Tim Donnelly, who is we should actually name him the editor of digging into the goofiness of this story.
Yeah, he should come in and give us the cliff notes.
So I was not unaware of this, but Jordan Hudson's mother.
Yes. Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Manages a sex toy museum.
What?
And adult toy store.
She does.
In Provincetown, Massachusetts. Whatever I just said. Massachusetts, which is on Cape Cod.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, yes.
Mm-hmm.
For people who are unfamiliar with Provincetown, it's a, not saying an alternative lifestyle. It's more of a freer society.
Open.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Open. For those of you who've been to Rehoboth, Delaware, you might know what I'm talking about. Anyway, or San Francisco. So, yes, that's what she does.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, whatever floats.
That's a good, that's a fine business. I got no problem with it. But yes. So, I don't know why that's part of the story, but if you read enough,
it's there.
It's there. You get to read about it.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
Might explain some things, too.
I don't know. I just know that the University of North Carolina isn't happy.
No.
But, one, who's going to have the conversation with Bill?
Mm-hmm.
The university has denied, by the way, that she was banned.
Yeah.
So they released a statement earlier today. They said, no, she is not. She is allowed to be in the football facilities. By the way, by saying that doesn't mean she hasn't been told directly or indirectly, yo, can we cool it? Please.
Right. Chill.
Can we just, go do something else?
Go make some fake commercials again. I have so many questions, too. Like, is the mom going to be in the business, too? Are we going to have, themed UNC products? Colored UNC products? I mean, hey, she's in it, so.
Interesting ram horn you've got there.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing for that.
Is that Argyle?
We don't need Argyles on that.
No.
All right. Next. Dan Wolken, USA Today. I'm going to bring this up, so I apologize to Dan in advance even before we get him on the phone. But also, Nick Saban lobbied the president for a commission on college sports, and he's got it. Oh, man. Dan Wolken next.
From the heels.
Touchdown, Carolina.
To the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the postgame mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
May is Motorcycle Awareness Month as we head into a heavier riding season. I'm Victoria Vodenecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and there are people who will ride all year long. But around this time of the year, you're going to start seeing those motorcycle communities multiply on our roadways. So for riders, it's important to always stay aware of your surroundings. But for people in vehicles, you also have a responsibility, too, to not follow a motorcycle too closely. They don't have the exterior shell to protect them in case of an accident like you do. Now, we definitely want to prevent any accident, but if you do get into an accident on your motorcycle, make sure to call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, and they understand what you're going through. Case evaluations are always free, so you won't pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. We're close to crowning a hockey champion, and when I'm not calling playoff games around the country, the first thing I do when I'm back in the Triangle is head to Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet, and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and a $6 Bloody Mary on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, get it delivered. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
This is Adam Gold.
We had lightning hit a pretty large tree.
Oh, yeah.
About 150 yards from the house. It'll be my sign to go win the lottery. But you know what? I'm sorry, I can't. I have rules. If it's not over $1 billion, I'm not playing.
Yeah, still just millions.
The Adam Gold Show.
I couldn't help myself. It's a perfect song for this. And if you're on YouTube and you can't hear this song, I'm playing Super Freak right now.
Oh, they can't hear the song on YouTube?
No, because of copyright stuff. YouTube doesn't like you to play songs.
I get it. No, totally right.
But I'm playing Super Freak.
I can't get creative on the podcast because, not just because of YouTube, because you don't have a license to use those things on podcast. If you go back and you listen to, actually, they've probably been removed by now. But I used to use popular music because I didn't know any better. When I first started producing everything, doing the entire podcast myself, like I didn't know any better. I didn't know what the rules were. So all of a sudden somebody says, hey, by the way, you're not allowed to use popular music. I'm like, oh, really? What?
Right.
How come? I honestly didn't know.
Yeah.
We use it on the show.
We can't have fun.
Right, exactly. Anyway, while we're waiting on Dan Wolken here, sometimes it's hard to treat a dumb story seriously. And I have viewed Hudson Belichick, and we need to give them a celebrity couple name. We need to do that. So it's Jordan Hudson and Bill Belichick. We have to come up with something. Maybe that's it. We'll put that on social media. Give me a celebrity couple name for Belichick and Hudson. I look at this story as it's a summer stupid story. But it does have real life implications in that there are people who have to deal with it. And I don't envy the people who look at this and going, why do I have to deal with this? But it's the football program. And this is what when you hire Bill Belichick to be the coach, you have hired not just Bill, you have hired whatever the circus is around Bill. And you wouldn't have thought that there was a circus around Bill, but whether his personality warrants being a celebrity or not, he is a bona fide celebrity. And so everything that is around him, you've just signed up for. Dan Wolken, columnist, USA Today. You can follow him on Blue Sky at Dan Wolken. I think also Twitter as well. I bet you didn't think that the first thing we would discuss, because I didn't text you about that the first thing we would discuss today would be a potential banishment of Bill Belichick's girlfriend from the North Carolina football facilities today. How you doing?
I'm good. Can't be too surprised, but this is what happens when an old man who's in the public spotlight is dating a very young woman, and there's complications.
There are complications. Before I get into a serious notion of this, do you have a favorite part of this story?
I mean, not really. I understand why people are fascinated by it. Totally get it. Don't think they've handled it maybe the best way possible or the way I would advise them to handle it. But that's just the way it goes. I mean, I said this on Twitter a couple weeks ago, and I think it just continues to be true, which is it would be nice if at some point the Bill Belichick at North Carolina experience was about North Carolina football, at least a little bit, at least somewhat, but that just doesn't seem to be in the cards for now. It's all about him. It's all about her. And the football part, the school, I mean, that's second or third tier in this whole situation.
You think any of this is selling the book? Because the first email that she put on Instagram that he sent out to staff, it seemed like the only focus was getting attention for the book. I don't know that this is getting attention for the book.
I also just don't understand, who do they expect to read this book? Honestly,
I'm with you.
I'm not even trying to be funny.
I'm with you.
Who wants to read Bill Belichick's musings about the game of football? I mean, that just seems like an incredibly boring book.
I don't disagree with that, and I've said before that I would never read that book, but it wouldn't be because of Belichick. It would. I just wouldn't read a book like that. My favorite part of this is the fact that her mom manages a sex toy museum. I just think that to me
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah. So. I have various questions running through my mind. Interesting use of a ram's horn, but that's another story altogether. Dan Wolken, USA Today, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I think I saw you say today that you would advise them to do a clear the air interview.
Well, I was joking.
Okay, good.
Joking. I mean, they tried that already. It didn't go well. It didn't go very well.
Oh, the CBS morning news stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were just selling the book.
Maybe the joke didn't land.
No.
Maybe the joke didn't land, but I was trying to be sarcastic.
My fault.
I don't think a sit down is in their future.
Wouldn't you just say just stop, just shut up, and get to football? The reason that they're doing this now is because Bill is going to be a lightning rod for attention, and there's no football to talk about until August.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We're just going to be sitting here are we just going to be sitting here all summer talking about Jordan Hudson? Is that the way this is going to go?
Oh man, has SNL gotten on this yet? I'm done with this topic. I'm just wondering
I think they have. I think after the CBS interview, I think they did a skit involving him.
We're going to have to play that. I'm sure it's awesome. I'd be curious to see who's playing Bill Belichick and who's playing Jordan Hudson in that role. All right, Dan Wolken, USA Today. The reason I texted you was this incredibly important, I believe the term was of national importance, this commission on college sports that the president has or is in the process of generating, which will be co-chaired by Nick Saban, so they can further scrutinize, could even have an executive order to further scrutinize name, image, and likeness. Is this really of national importance?
No. What it is a president who has seen his approval ratings go underwater, who has a lot of different issues now, very important, serious issues on his plate. Didn't end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours, so that was a miss. There's another little skirmish flaring up over in Pakistan. Israel's continuing to do its thing. Like, there's a lot going on in the world. The economy, not so hot. The tariff stuff, we got a year of turbulence ahead, right?
Right.
So there's all these things going on, and here you have Trump, who, he doesn't really know much, I don't think, about what's going on with this stuff. But
about
I do
college
think he
sports, right? Yeah.
Right. I do think he sees an opportunity. Nick Saban, who he certainly knows who he is, was whispering in his ear at that Alabama commencement speech last week, and hey, you got Saban, who's going to go out in front of a microphone and say nice things about you, and they can do this commission and get in the Oval Office and have this ceremony with an executive order, and Saban can stand behind him with the thumbs up and say, well, Mr. President, sir, we couldn't have done this without you. And that's what the kind of stuff Trump lives for, right? So that's what this is, because ultimately, whatever this commission comes up with, and I don't really know what they're going to be able to come up with besides everything that we've been talking about for 5 years. Ultimately, Congress is going to have to pass a law, or the college presidents are going to have to get together and just say, we need a new system, and that system is going to start with some type of collective bargaining situation. Whatever comes out of this committee, anything Trump signs, like that has no impact on the reality of the situation. You cannot wave this away with the stroke of a pen. I don't care who the president is or what kind of power he thinks he has. It's just not feasible.
Dan Wolken, USA Today, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. It's not lost. The irony of this is not lost that Nick Saban, who has made, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars as the head coach at the University of Alabama, and is probably, in my opinion, probably underpaid in that role, because I believe that coaches are either underpaid or overpaid. All of them. There are no coaches who are appropriately paid. That he's looking to restrict the amount of money that the athletes who performed for him at his direction, and I'm not saying he isn't worth all of his money, that those athletes should be restricted in terms of what and how much and how they can receive that money. I think that's silly.
Well, I don't want to impugn the motives or prejudge what this committee's goal is. We'll see what they do, and we can judge it then. I think Saban, a lot of the stuff he said about why the current situation is not good for anybody, I think a lot of people would agree with. But the problem is just how you do something to restore order into the college sports ecosystem that is not subject to a court ruling. Mm-hmm. And the court rulings have been very consistent, which is that you can't limit someone's earning potential and the amount of money they can make or where they choose to get an education arbitrarily and without some type of consent from the people being governed in this relationship. And it's just very clear in the law. It's been made clear by every court including the Supreme Court. This is just the reality of where we are. And so how do you fix that, or how do you change that in a way that allows the NCAA to enforce its rule book? Well, I mean, it's just very clear. You got to pass a law, which Congress has not done in 6 years, or you have to collectively bargain. It's one or the other. I don't see any other way out.
We've been talking about this for, my gosh, I don't even know how long. The only way out of it is collective bargaining, but that would require an admission from the NCAA that the athletes are, in fact, employees, which they don't want to get into. And I understand why they wouldn't want to get into it. It is complicated because all university athletes are different. The sports are different. They bring in different levels of revenue. Some probably don't bring in any revenue at all. So I understand why it's complicated, but maybe they shouldn't have turned it into a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Well, I've said this before. All that happened, kind of by accident. Like, it was what college sports became and ultimately turned into was not, I don't think, by design. I don't think anybody would have predicted what it was going to become, but it did become that. And so you have to deal with the reality as it is and not the way you wish it to be. And, the amount of money that has been spent on facilities and all of these things always was so that the numbers would net out at zero and you could credibly say this is not a money-making enterprise.
Right.
And of course nobody buys that. And so, look, I think there should be, I hate the term guardrails, but every business circumstance has guardrails or it does go to chaos. That's just the way, that's the way every industry has worked forever. And there should be some guardrails. There should be some things that are agreed to say, we need this to be more orderly, less chaotic, and there's and that will benefit both sides. Because even though the athletes have it very good, there's a lot of bad stories out there, and there's a lot of things that put them in some jeopardy when it comes to these contracts and, maybe not fully having the protection of their side being enforced either. So you can deal with these things, and because that's how normal businesses operate. But for some reason, these college presidents they either haven't accepted reality or they just don't want to do the work.
Dan Wolken, USA Today, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Final thing, I'm just going to read you a quote from Tommy Tuberville, and then we can move on. And by the way, Mississippi State announced plans this week to build a $60 million indoor practice facility, which will open summer of 2028. Now, I don't believe it's university funds that is coming from private donations, but $60 million indoor practice facility. That is wild. I wonder how many waterfalls and putt-putt golf courses there are. Here's Tommy Tuberville. College football is the heart and soul of America, but it is in danger if we don't level the playing field. Has there ever been a level playing field?
No, and the stuff that I think that they would implement would make it even worse. These guys, they just want their life to be easier. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And it's never been about fairness. It's never been about level playing field. They just don't want the headache. And I don't blame them, right? It is a big headache to deal with all this stuff. But you could actually fix the headache by kind of doing the hard thing, taking your medicine, and getting to a system that isn't going to be taken to court every month. It just absolutely astounds me that they won't accept that.
All right, before I let you go, who's winning the French Open?
Sinner, I guess.
Oh, that's right. He's eligible to play. It's all good. He's awesome. We know that. Dan Wolken, USA Today, at Dan Wolken on Blue Sky and Twitter. Thank you very much, sir. Sorry to sidetrack you with the Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick stuff.
I don't think it'll be the last time.
All right, take care, man.
See you.
You got it. Dan Wolken here on the Adam Gold Show. I missed the joke. How did I miss the joke? My fault. Ram's horn.
I know.
It's a ram's horn.
That's all right. We had our fun beforehand.
It's a ram's horn. What is that? It's a pretty big ram's horn.
Exactly.
Yep.
Is that baby blue?
What is it made of?
Yeah. Yeah. About that.
Yeah. Latex. All right. We should probably go. We'll stretch. We'll place bets. I asked Victoria the question earlier.
Oh, I know the answer now.
You do know the answer now.
I do.
Yes. All of that next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. The NBA conference semifinals are here. And even though we are without a king, no more monarchy in the NBA playoffs, we are still ready for you. And FanDuel, for new customers, $200 in bonus bets await when you place your first $5 wager. You don't even have to win it. How good is that? FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. The NBA conference semifinals in full swing. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
There's no party like an all-star party. The NASCAR All-Star Race roars into North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's back May 16 through 18 for a no-holds-barred, old-fashioned mountain showdown. NASCAR's biggest stars going for all the money and bragging rights under the lights at one of racing's most iconic tracks. Metal will bend, dreams will end, and the fun? Well, that doesn't stop all weekend. Kick your May into high gear. Get your tickets today at northwilkesborospeedway.com.
Here at NC Cyber Academy, screens are a good thing. At our K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school, your child can find a flexible and personalized education that lets them take a brain break when they need it, but also provides structured one-on-one time with our amazing teachers. But we also power down our laptops for in-person activities with fellow students to build community. Visit myncca.com to learn how we can set your child up for success in the classroom, at college, and in their careers.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Do you know someone who's lost a loved one to overdose? Every day, the disease of addiction is taking lives and devastating families. But this crisis is preventable. Join the Governor's Institute in the Be a Superhero in the Overdose Battle campaign. Together, we can spread awareness, fight stigma, and save lives. Learn the signs of overdose. Know how to help. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero today, because doing nothing shouldn't be an option. Be a hero. Take action. Save a life.
It's not about the cars, the speed, the action. It's not about the party or the long weekend. It's about them, the ones that gave everything. This Memorial Day weekend, we honor the fallen at America's Home for Racing.
The 66th running of the Coca-Cola 600.
To the people of North Carolina, for 70 years, you've helped make PBS North Carolina a trusted friend in your home. We've watched history unfold with Henry Louis Gates Jr., explored new worlds with Mr. Rogers, and found treasures together on Antiques Roadshow. Your support has helped us continue teaching, entertaining, and inspiring generations. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
This is Adam Gold.
I did love that Rod video with him, though, when he was trying to communicate.
Yeah, you speak hockey.
And he was like, it's okay, you don't need to know this, you know hockey. And I was like, oh, heartstrings. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria is here. Before we get to stretching and bet and wager placing, for those people who are fans of college basketball, you've heard us talk about various things regarding the rules of the game and replays and all of this and reviews and whatever. The Men's Basketball Rules Committee, I don't know who's on it, proposes changes to enhance the flow of the game. Right? Major League Baseball instituted, a pitch clock, right? Not that long ago. And it sped up the game. And that isn't about making the game faster. That's making the game more efficient, less wasted time, forcing the game to keep a pace up, right? We don't want anybody rushing, but we want the pace of the game to be good. And what it did was it took about 25 or so minutes out of the time of every game. It was amazing to where Red Sox-Yankees games now take less than 4 hours to play. It was a little joke because a Red Sox-Yankee game doesn't make a difference what rules you have, is going to take minimum 3 hours and 42 minutes to play. I don't know why those two teams play the longest games against each other ever, but they do. Anyway, Major League Baseball's average time a game dropped to almost 2.5 hours. That's significant. Anyway, so college basketball, we've all watched it. The end of a game in college basketball takes forever. So they're trying to make that efficient. But if they say they want to improve the flow of the game, they haven't quite gotten to where they need to get in terms of really improving the flow of the game, which means removing some of the built-in breaks in a game. But they do recognize that it's an issue because it says in the middle of this text, positive momentum for moving the men's game from halves to quarters is now there. Positive momentum. We're not doing it, but we're at least thinking about it, which, pardon me, I'm not going to make fun. Thankfully, now it at least has entered the brains of these people. The biggest mistake that people make is thinking that if you go to quarters, you add time. You don't. You actually will remove one break. 10-minute quarters with the commercial break after the first stoppage after 5 minutes means that instead of having 4 breaks per half, you would have just 3 breaks per half. Would improve the flow of the game. You do realize, people, that the only basketball played that doesn't employ a quarters clock is men's college basketball. Everyone else uses quarters. Why? Anyway, I just thought I would bring that to everyone's attention. The other stuff in there makes your head spin. All right, let's stretch.
Okay, so just so people do not forget, this Sunday, because there's a lot going on this weekend, Sunday's Mother's Day.
It is.
So do not wait till last minute to be that person that's going to the grocery store.
You'll get to Sunday, you go, mother.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
That other one. So, yeah, no. I'm trying to help the people. Prepare yourself. So Mother's Day is this Sunday. Do not wait to go to CVS to find flowers. Get them today or tomorrow. And they broke down what moms basically want and all this stuff. Pretty much, it's simple. They want me time. Maybe you could pamper them by getting them a gift certificate to go get their nails done, a massage. But most of this all says, because they asked all kinds of moms from all different locations, they like the gifts that make the memories, the thoughtful ones, the, oh, that's so sweet, do all that stuff. So don't overthink it. That'll be the best thing, because I love this where the bottom of this article is just let them have a nap. Cook dinner for them. Don't make them have to think about anything whatsoever. So, yeah, hey, it'd be a great day if you just kind of let them do whatever they want and you make dinner, You know
what a great Mother's Day gift is?
What's that?
Spread 5 yards of mulch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's that season. Mulch is always real fun. It's real fun. Exactly. So you guys prepare yourself and do the right thing. Now, one thing, speaking of parenting, I read this and thought it was funny. So I know it's been a while since the roast of Tom Brady. It's very left field. I think he must have had an interview recently where he talked about this, but I guess he is now owning up that he up. Because doing that roast, I guess, kind of traumatized his children.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was on some kind of, some interview that he had recently where he said, he spoke about it. And the kids had immediately asked him, what was the point of that? Learning that stuff was tough.
Yeah.
And so he said he took it like a stake to the heart. So, yeah, I don't know. But it was good ratings. And we learned more about Bill. Even more so.
You weren't allowed to say anything about Robert Kraft.
No, you could
Nothing.
not. You could not. But he did take a shot with Bill and was Brady involved? Do you remember? Did you see that
idea.
part? They
No.
took a shot
I actually
of
never
tequila,
watched it.
Potentially.
I do know that. What was the comedian? She was crazy good.
Yes, Nikki. Yes, Glazier.
She was amazing.
She's really funny. So yeah, no, she's.
That's probably the stuff that traumatized the kids.
I know.
Because I've seen that bit. I've seen that. I've also seen, I think Jeff Ross also took shots.
Yeah.
But the Nikki Glazer part,
oh yeah,
that would traumatize your kids.
Yeah, so that probably had a hand in it. And hopefully something that's not so traumatizing. I love to go to movies when I can. Don't go to the movie theater a lot, but nowadays they're making the specialty popcorn buckets. Have you seen these?
No.
So last season, speaking of Jordan Hudson's mom and what she does for a living, last season, Dune 2 came out with a popcorn bucket that was kind of questionable. However, if you are
Have a hole in the bottom?
that hole somewhere. So Mission Impossible is coming out May 23rd. It's the final reckoning. And I guess they're coming out with a pretty sweet popcorn bucket. It's not risque, but if you're into that stuff and it's the last one, Tom Cruise is still all doing all of his crazy stuff that he always does. Apparently it's really cool because it comes with keys that you can unlock it. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of work when you have greasy hands with popcorn, but if that's something you're looking forward to, maybe your mom really likes Mission Impossible, you can, entice her with the popcorn bucket. Who knows? That's coming up, though. You know what else is coming up? Some real good bets.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
It's going down at Citi Field this weekend.
Yeah, it is.
Mets and Cubs open up a 3-game set.
Oh, man. They got a rebound from that Giants series. They
Highest
got
scoring team, Chicago.
Yep.
Against the best pitching team, the Mets.
Pitching has always been our weakness. or at least has been the past couple of seasons.
Will it be tonight, though? So it's Jamison Tyon, I think it's Tyon, against Clay Holmes tonight. Are you going there in any of your wagers or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Shoot.
I can start mine off with it. Only
right
one,
ahead.
though, because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, I'm not going to pick the winner because I don't want to jinx them, but let's go King Tuck to get an anytime home run because Kyle Tucker has been, and they call him King Tuck.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yes. So Kyle Tucker, anytime home run, he's plus 460. Let's go, buddy.
Plus 460. Very good, Kyle Tucker. Jamison Tyon has been excellent against the Mets in his career. 4-0.
Oh, wow.
In his career against the Mets. Brandon Nimmo, anytime home run. He has homered in 8 at-bats against Tyon. I looked it up. Brandon Nimmo home run anytime plus 560.
Ooh. Ours are kind of similar almost.
Yeah.
So I got to go to our Canes. That's the next one up. I really need Aho to score, especially with Tom Wilson on him.
We do need Aho to score.
Yeah, stealing his mouth guard. I don't even care. Steal it and then steal a goal. Give me Sebastian Aho this Saturday, anytime goal scorer. He's plus 165 right now.
All right, Citi Field, Pete Alonso, anytime home run, plus 285.
Oh, look at Pete Polar Bear go. And then last but not least, we have a huge pay-per-view UFC fight, of course, same day that our Canes are playing. So, UFC 315, now I'm looking at Valentina Shevchenko and Minot Ferro. I got to go with Minot and all of her Frenchness. Give me her to win. She's favored. And you know what? I'll take her by the points, plus 145. Yes, oui.
All right. Back to Citi Field. Francisco Lindor. Anytime home run. Plus 420. Let's get it going this weekend against Jamison Tyon and his 4-0 record against the Mets.
Yes. Hopefully. We'll see.
One of us is going to be very upset on Monday.
I know.
Just all I'm saying. One of us is going to be very upset. We do need Aho to score, money or otherwise.
Talking sports, so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And do they have a great offer for you right now? New customers can get started with $200 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 wager, and you don't even have to win that. How about that? Pretty cool. We got the NBA semifinals in each conference going on tonight. And how about the fact that the man himself, they're not buying the Pacers 2-0 series lead. Home underdogs. I get it with the Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. But, man, the Pacers have proven pretty good. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The draft tells me one thing for Bryce Young and the Panthers. It's put up or shut up time for the quarterback. They needed edge rushers. They needed safeties, corners, linebackers. So what did they do with the 8th overall pick? They got the #1 wide receiver on their board. That is a message to Bryce. You better perform this year or else.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again.
Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
At Napa, we are the pros that know AC services inside and out. From professional-grade replacement parts to complete system solutions, Napa has what your business needs to keep your customers cool mile after mile. Need AC repair kits and refrigerant? How about compressors and condensers? Name the part, Napa has you covered coast to coast, behind a nationwide network built to keep your business ahead of the curve. Find your AC parts right now at Napa.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Because it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got to do.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
It's The Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Looking forward to the Roundtable coming up in about 15 minutes. And then after that, we will spend some time talking hockey with Chuck Kaiton. Hockey Hall of Fame broadcaster, 39 years behind the radio mic for the Carolina Hurricanes and Hartford Whalers. So we will discuss Game 2. We'll also try to hit on a couple of other topics if we have time, but he will join us as he is amid his mid-spring travels. But he will join us coming up in about 40 minutes. Again, Roundtable coming up in about 15. Right now, as is customary, Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, we'll start with fresh stuff from Hurricane Central. Canes and the Washington Capitals Game 3 tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock start. Hour earlier than normal. I guess because it's Saturday, why not? That is so the second game will be on so people in the East Coast can stay awake for it. And the second game will be Vegas and Edmonton in Edmonton. And that will be interesting because the Golden Knights lost both games at home. Washington nearly did, but here's head coach Rod Brindamore on how he feels after the split in D.C.
I liked how we played. Last night was a tough game, but it was, bad break and the one goal, and we just got power play goals. So we're, I thought we were right there. Could be obviously a little better, but I liked how we played.
All right, where specifically, maybe, can this team be better, Coach?
Well, it's just those mistakes where they're going to force you to make mistakes. That's hockey, and the game is about mistakes. But it's the ones where you're really not forced into a mistake, and we just turn over a puck where there's no reason to or whatever. That's just putting stress on you now, and that's those. We can eliminate those shifts. I think we're going to be better off. Obviously, you want to get more action around the net in the interior. That's the goal. So we can maybe do that a little better. Otherwise, I liked our game.
All right, let's head to Sebastian Aho for a couple. And they've had a lot of shots. 85 shot attempts yesterday, 94 in game one. That's a lot of shot attempts to only have 3 goals and only 2 in regulation. Is there anything more that can be done?
Be a little bit more accurate, right? I mean, we try to score in every shot, but yeah, I mean they done a good job blocking shots, making us that's a good team. They defend well. I think we defend well as well, and their goalie has been playing good. So yeah, I guess stick what we do and have a chance to put it in.
All right, one more from Sebastian Aho, and this is about 5-on-5 play. We talked about it. Yesterday, each team scored a power play goal. The difference was the goofy Sean Walker tries to dump the puck in, hits Shane Gostisbehere in the side of the head, bounces back into the offensive zone or defensive zone, and Connor McMichael skates onto it, and it's a breakaway. But Aho was asked about 5-on-5 play, even strength, and possible adjustments.
Every aspect of the game, every area we try to improve. We try to be better than the last game, and yeah, that's pretty business as usual. I'm sure they're doing the same thing. They try to improve. So, but yeah, I think they've been tight games, and hopefully we'll get the best game so far tomorrow for us.
Hurricanes were significantly better in game one. Could have lost, won it in overtime. I thought yesterday's game was a lot closer to even. I thought Washington's best moments were all in the second period, except for that power play goal. And ultimately, the second period crazy goal was the difference in the game, because each team got one on the power play. Hurricanes should have had a two-man advantage for about a minute 15 or so. I don't understand why Tom Wilson was not penalized for, essentially, if this were a rodeo, we would have had a clock and he would have tied Svechnikov's arms and legs together like he was a calf. Because that's basically what happened. He just horse-collared him down to the ice, and it was everything but, tie his legs together like they do in roping. All right, one from Shane Gostisbehere, and then we get to Pablo Torre. Shane, how do you feel? Not about how your face feels. How do you feel about where you're at in the series?
Feeling good. Obviously, last night got away from us a little bit. We really didn't play our game, but we were still in that game, had a chance to win it. So take some positives from it. But any chance you can get a win on the road in the first 2 games, that's pretty big, and especially coming back home.
Yeah, I mean, there was a ton of good to the 2 games in D.C., and as I said at the beginning, my concern is that you play 2 first periods like that, and you didn't have the lead after either of them. Yesterday's first period wasn't as good as Game 1's first period, but it was still good enough to have a lead, and you didn't. So that is my concern. And this is an evenly matched series in my view. If you don't take advantage of your best, you're asking to lose. That is what I will be looking for going forward. Speaking of going forward, Pablo Torre from Pablo Torre Finds Out, the podcast, former ESPNer, this is from early this morning when we saw this, breaking news.
A couple of breaking news updates since what has happened publicly since we last gathered. Number one, okay? 2 sources at the University of North Carolina tell me that there has been a decision, was made last week, by the higher-ups inside the athletic department that had hired Bill Belichick to be the highest-paid public employee, not just coach, in the state of North Carolina at $10 million a year. And that decision was that Jordan Hudson is no longer allowed in the football building.
Okay.
She is not allowed on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, don't think you'll be hearing much from Jordan moving forward. The second update is that Bill Belichick's family is extraordinarily concerned about what has transpired. One Belichick family source told me, quote, there is deep worry for how detrimental Jordan can be for not just North Carolina, but Bill's legacy, reputation, everything he has built and worked for over decades, end quote. In fact, the family has been digging into Jordan Hudson as well.
I wonder if they found out that Jordan's mom runs a sex toy museum.
Yeah, it's facts.
I mean, at that point, if you're really doing any digging, you've come across that.
That would pop up. Yes.
Easy.
I see, you got it there.
Easy.
It's a Friday here.
It is. It is. All right. One more from Pablo Torre, and I'm going to have to finish the story here.
As of the summer of 2024, Jordan Hudson was not in charge of everything. But there was one famous story that was witnessed by, I am told, dozens of people, including freelance contractors who were hired to work on the set for a 7-figure scripted commercial. And yes, we're talking about another expensive commercial shoot here.
This is Belichick. Talk to me.
Double B.
Tyrese.
What's good with these wideouts?
He's going to get in the end zone, no doubt about that.
My man. William, answer the phone.
Billy B, my man.
Cam.
How's QB1 looking?
It's looking more like QB3.
My body rejects that.
What I am told by multiple people among the dozens who witnessed the shooting of this is that what happened that day on set was, quote, highly unusual. Jordan Hudson, who was at the time like a person they kind of heard about, but again, this is last summer.
Yeah.
Not quite the entity that we know now, nothing close, had arrived on set and started immediately pitching herself for a role that had not been discussed in this scripted 7-figure commercial shoot. That would also serve as, quote, the hard launch of their relationship.
And that last part, the hard launch of their relationship, also has nothing to do with the sex toy museum in Provincetown, Massachusetts.
Not at all.
By the way, the commercial was for a fantasy football app. Just so you know what that commercial was about. Now, the rest of the story about that commercial shoot was that she returned after leaving. She returned, apparently, this is according to Pablo Torre's account. She returned wearing a yellow bikini, bathing suit, and a hat. I don't know what kind of hat.
Yeah.
And that her script adjustment, if you will, was for him to be poolside, which he was in part of this commercial. And she was supposed to be there trying to distract Bill from, my guess is, dispensing fantasy football advice.
Yes, which is very on brand for her.
It is. Apparently, again, according to Pablo Torre's story, the filming of this commercial by the time she had come back was already finished. They didn't have to do anything else. But they figured, why not appease her? And they went about the business of recording her script ideas.
Right.
And the story has one of the cameras possibly not even being on.
Super uncomfortable. Which,
all of it.
If you're that type of person that has to be appeased, like, grow up. Like, you're that kid that, he didn't play with me. He didn't pick me on the team.
But Bill was okay with it. Bill was okay with all of it.
Of course. Pink polka dotted bathing suit.
It's yellow.
Yes.
Yellow, yeah.
Or yes, yellow.
Yellow polka dotted bathing suit. Anyway, I'm not, whatever. It is what, like I said the other day, it would have been just so much better just to buy a Ferrari.
I know.
Go get yourself a Ferrari, Bill. I know. All right, when we come back, the Roundtable, not just my thoughts on the relationship of the century, but Pat Welter and Brian Murphy, friends here in the company. Next.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Need more Stanley Cup chatter, Canes fans? Listen afternoons at 12:15 and 4:15 for our Cup Check-In. Served up by Carolina Ale House. Adam Gold talks with hockey's best past and present, bringing you the latest insight on the chase for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the Cup Check-In on 99.9 The Fan. Served up by Carolina Ale House. Come to Carolina Ale House Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs, or visit carolinaalehouse.com/Canes.
Time to break out the bike and head over to Mom's Place because it's Mother's Day this weekend, and who doesn't love an excuse to go for a ride? I'm Victoria Vodenecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and not only do we have Mother's Day this weekend, but all month long, it's Motorcycle Awareness Month. That includes simple but important things like making sure your lights are always on and doing your best to be aware of those distracted drivers, especially because they're texting their mom saying they're on their way to see them. Hopefully your travels are safe wherever you're going, but if you do get into an accident that wasn't your fault on your motorcycle, make sure to call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, and they know the value of your bike, gear, and know what it's like to go through an accident. Case evaluations are always free, and you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And this year, fellas, give mom something unforgettable from Bailey's Fine Jewelry or the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. That's right, watches aren't just for dads. Moms love luxury timepieces too. Fox & Bailey has the finest selection of iconic brands, from Omega to pre-owned Rolex, Blancpain, Glashütte Original. And maybe you know your mom very, very well and watches aren't her thing. That's cool. Bailey's has the largest selection of designer and fine jewelry in the area. Think sparkling diamonds, classic styles, pieces that'll make her eyes light up. They have whatever mom is looking for, and you can be the one to bring it to her. Right now, take advantage of their Mother's Day sale, up to 20% off select items in-store only. That's serious savings on something she'll treasure forever. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry or the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop in Raleigh's Village District and show mom how much she means to you.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
One Adam Gold. One Adam Gold.
If Andrei Svechnikov watched Eric Cole highlight tapes and caused chaos.
Hey, hashtag, you didn't even mean to do that, did you?
I didn't. Well, that's the old one.
I know, but
right?
It's still relevant.
Now we're raising up. Maybe we should go back to cause chaos.
I know, we need to go back to causing chaos.
This is interesting. I did kind of subconsciously bring that out.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Oh, man, Fridays are always fun.
Itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
I'm sorry.
I know you're deep in the weeds.
I was. I was posting on social media just a question.
I know.
Do we need a celebrity name for Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson? I think the answer is yes.
We do. Like Brad and Angelina.
Was it?
I think it was Brad
Brangelina? Like Jennifer, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner.
Right.
Bennifer.
Exactly.
Right.
There's one there.
So, Bildo? Does that work?
Ooh, well, the mom would approve. So we got that.
That's my submission for that. All right, I'm glad I didn't involve our two friends. Gosh, that was borderline inappropriate.
I love Fridays.
Pat Welter and Brian Murphy, both from WRAL TV5. Pat Welter, sports anchor extraordinaire, and Brian Murphy, of course, WRAL sports investigative
We didn't even
reporter.
play the music you got.
I'm sorry. I'll play the music. They deserve music.
Camelot. It's only a model.
We're knights of the round table. We dance when we're able.
Gentlemen,
We do routines in all the scenes.
welcome. How are you?
I'm great. I've got kids in the car.
I didn't understand any of that. We're going to have to address you guys separately, obviously, since you're both on the phone. We have Pat Welter. I'm pointing him to the left, and Brian Murphy is on the right. They're both on the phone.
It's
It doesn't
accurate.
really matter.
On the board, that's exactly what they are.
See, I knew that. I knew that instinctively. I know this is going to be hard right off the top, but do you think we need, I'll start with you, Pat, do we need a celebrity name for Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson?
Well, I don't think I can repeat the one that you guys already uttered because I'm currently driving my kids home from school right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to refrain from any mentions of the type of shop that Jordan Hudson's family owns.
It's a perfectly
I don't know,
legitimate business.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we all have needs, and it's a free market and a free economy.
It's
and,
history. It's a museum, Pat.
Exactly. We all got here somehow, didn't we?
We did. We did.
I've got, Jordana check. That kind of sounds like a linebacker that would play for Belichick.
It does. It actually sounds like a third pair defenseman for the Winnipeg Jets. Brian Murphy, do we need a celebrity name for this couple?
I think Jordan makes them stand out enough because of the O. So I'm not sure that they need one, right? If they're a LeBron, Kobe, Shaq, there's only one Jordan.
I think that's a very good point. There was, at one point for the Hurricanes, Mikel Jordan, who was a Czech defenseman of some prospect-ish note, but we'll just leave it at that. All right, let me just go back to Brian and your thoughts on where we are today. The university has denied that they have prevented Jordan from attending practice, being in the team facilities, being on the field. Your thoughts on where we are with this?
My thought is it's May 9th, and we've already had the university issue a statement defending, from Bill Belichick defending Jordan Hudson. And now today we've had the athletic department issue a statement defending Jordan Hudson. What happens next week? We are still months away from kickoff, months away from real football. We have plenty of time for this story to continue to percolate.
Yes, and it will continue to percolate.
I would point your listeners to the Miss Maine competition, which takes place this weekend, in which Jordan Hudson is a contestant, and could end up in the Miss USA patch or the Miss America patch.
That would be fantastic. I believe Brian was wondering what will pop up next, to borrow from Victoria's joke from earlier. Yes, exactly. Pat, can you make sense of this latest twist, which really stems from Pablo Torre Finds Out, his podcast, where he says he reported today that the university banned Jordan Hudson from football facilities and that the family is concerned as well?
I'm just trying to figure out what the truth is, right? And, Pablo Torre is one of the smartest, media members out there, right? He's not throwing this out there for nothing. And he's doing as much deep dive into this as he possibly can to extreme lengths, even going to said shop that we discussed earlier. But I know, Brian's been working his sources today. I've been texting mine this morning, and, we got the statement from UNC denying it. And I was talking to somebody inside the athletic department that wouldn't necessarily just walk the corporate line or the company line. Mm-hmm. And that person said that they didn't know anything about it and that they didn't think it was true either. So what really is it? I mean, the word banned might be just too strong of a term because at a minimum, with everything that's going on, something needs to be done. Now, I think that we've lost sight of this story a little bit. We're like, what is Jordan Hudson actually doing that is so bad? I think a lot of it's overblown, but it's clearly a distraction from the king of not having distractions. And, yeah, it's a problem for UNC's public image. I think it's a problem for Bill Belichick's authority with the players at this point, because how are you going to respect this guy when this is what your life is right now as a football program? It's bizarre.
All right, I want to just dig into one thing you said, that something needs to be done. And my curiosity is, on May 9th, as Brian Murphy reminded us of the date, and we are 22 days away from June 1, where buyout drops from $10 million to $1 million. And I only bring that up because a lot of people are. I don't believe it really matters. I don't think he's going anywhere. I'm not sure anything needs to be done because we haven't really dipped into the realm of what UNC football is this year. It seems to me that whatever transfer portal back and forth comings and goings have been largely positive for UNC. Some I think they're in a top 10 of a Rivals transfer portal rating. I don't know whether that's going to translate to being much better on the field or not. Brian, do you get the sense that this is impacting football at all?
I don't think so. I mean, and I would, I see those rankings that people say, oh, look, Belichick's doing a great job because they're number 9 in the transfer portal rankings. My question is, well, you're supposed to get the transfer portal to supplement your core. Well, there is no core. Omarion Hampton's in the NFL. Bo Atkinson left. Amari Campbell left. You have no quarterback. So as good as your transfer portal might be, like what are they surrounding? So I would have football concerns and less Jordan Hudson concerns. I think what has elevated this story is certainly there's the age and all of that stuff. But did she cost them hard knocks? Is she costing them things that might help their football program? Get elevated, get more attention. I guess the argument could be that she's bringing more attention to the program, but is it the right kind of attention? I was trying to think of an analogous situation where, so much conversation was about the significant other of a football coach, and I can't really think of one.
In some ways, and Pat, you're too young to even really address this. So is Brian, and so am I. Is she Yoko Ono?
Well, if you listen to Pablo Torre,
that's a good call.
There certainly seems to be some concern from the Belichick family, and is that a financial concern that she may be getting some of his money? But there is, at least according to Pablo Torre, there's been some on-the-record quotes from his daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Concerned about what Jordan Hudson's impact on his legacy, his reputation, maybe his future employment options might be.
Oh, but does he need any future employment options? I mean, what kind of employment options does he need? He's not destitute.
I mean, I think my concern is how locked in is he with UNC football, right? That was the concern from the beginning. Was he coming to UNC for the right reasons? Yeah, he busted out his dad's old sweatshirt at the introductory press conference. But if you notice in the CBS interview, he's wearing a Navy sweatshirt.
Yeah.
He's not wearing a UNC sweatshirt on national television. And a lot of this just kind of shows to me that he's allowing this to happen. He either doesn't have control of her or he doesn't care. You know what I mean? Because if he cared about winning at the highest level ultimately, he wouldn't be allowing this to happen. And I get it. Yeah, she's not on the field. She's not playing to it. But it speaks to a larger issue of just like what is going on at UNC. And my understanding is that it has been very challenging for the people that stayed, whether it is people like on staff or actual players that chose not to transfer. And, some of that, it might just be like, hey, like it's kind of like a military thing, or, the new boss wants their people, and maybe it'll settle down once all the portals close. But, my understanding is it hasn't been a great environment over there. But, I don't think New England was either, and that worked. But where's the Tom Brady here? Gio Lopez? Because right now, the Tom Brady is Jordan Hudson, and as far as I know, she can't play quarterback.
Probably not, but yeah, you know what? We don't know. Her parents were fishermen before they got into the adult business. Pat Welter and Brian Murphy are joining us, both from WRAL TV5 here on the Adam Gold Show, the Friday Roundtable. Just real quick, let's see. Aaron says, "How about Hudson Belk?" That's actually pretty cute, although Belk, not quite. Hudson Bell would be better. And Gregory says Chick Hud. Those are both better than Bildo. But because there really isn't a combination of two names there, but I found it in some ways entertaining, at least to me.
Well, be careful. She may trademark one of those before it's all said and done. Prolific trademarker. Jordan
I've said it. I've said it on the air, so she'd have to come to me first. But if she did, I would grant her rights to use it for probably a small fee. Just a
Has
small.
Has she bought Jordan Lake yet? She might own the rights to Jordan Lake at this point. And the Michael Jordan brand, for all we know.
Well, as I have seen somebody mention that the school is a Jordan brand university. All right, let's just move away from real quick. This very simple question: does Bill make it to game one as the head coach, Pat?
Well, my concern is tomorrow he's just going to walk away, right? Because if they actually tried to ban Jordan Hudson from the program, and for all we've seen with how invested he is in her, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, where he just walks away. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm honestly prepared for anything at this point.
Brian, does he make it to game one?
Yes, he makes it through the whole season. He cares way too much about his legacy to have it end like that.
You and I are in a complete alignment here. I think all of this is just noise. Once we get to football, it'll be fine. And I don't even know who would have the conversation with Bill about Jordan Hudson not being allowed to go to practice or whatever. She's going to go and stand wherever she wants and wear whatever she wants. All right, we've got 5 minutes left. We've done all of that on Jordan Hudson and Bill Belichick. Pat, what are your concerns, if any, about 1-1 Hurricanes and Capitals?
I think my takeaway from last night was ultimately positive, that they were able to go in game two after taking game one and dominating game one. And obviously the Washington Capitals, you cannot go down 0-2 at home. And the fact that Carolina was able to dictate the game in the first period and have a chance in the third, to me, was ultimately positive. But my concern is that the series reminds me a lot of the New York Rangers series from the past, where Carolina would control a lot of the puck possession, own a lot of the shot statistics, but a lot of block shots from the Rangers, a lot of block shots from the Capitals. And what we see from the Capitals is they've been great at capitalizing, no pun intended, on turnovers or the little mistakes. Freddie Anderson has been great overall, but it's those turnovers along the boards, 2 straight games, almost the exact same goal. It's a power play goal last night, and that's how the Rangers got them, was just their skill sniping them, in transition. So I like the Canes' chances to win the series, but if there's a concern, that would be it.
Capitalizing, as a pun, better than Bildo. Brian Murphy, any concerns at all, 1-1?
And I think you raised this on social media, but Mikko Rantanen playing like Mikko Rantanen would look really nice on this team.
Yeah.
The playoffs are. I watched it last night with McDavid and Draisaitl with connecting for the game winner. You kind of need stars to win in the playoffs, and credit to Tulsky for making the swing. Credit to Tulsky for getting out of it when it didn't go well and getting back, more Canes-type players. But, man, it'd be nice to have that superstar that you can turn to when you need a goal late in the third period.
There is no doubt. I said this earlier. My only concern so far is that in the periods of dominance, there was nothing tangible to show for it. First period in Game 1, got nothing, ultimately fell behind. First period in Game 2, which wasn't as good as the first period in Game 1, you got nothing out of it and ultimately fell behind. The first goal is vital. If Carolina gets the first goal, I think they're winning the game flat. But if Washington gets it, now we're in a little bit of murky waters. Hurricanes went 1 out of 2, giving up the first goal and still coming back to win the game. So that to me is my concern, and we'll have to close up shop on that. Have either of you ever been to Provincetown, Massachusetts?
I went to Providence College, which is a little bit different and probably a more relevant conversation for
Did you really?
the Pope news yesterday as a Catholic. I did, yeah. I'm a New England guy. So, me and Jordan have some things in common. I think she told me, I talked to her, I think she told me her brother or brother-in-law is from my town.
Really?
Which is interesting. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We talk so bad about her. She was a nice woman when I met her. But that's beside the point. No, I've not been to Provincetown. I hear it's a good time.
Yeah. Apparently it is. They have a great museum culture there.
Yes, they do. But, yeah, I spent a lot of time on the Cape, a lot of summers out in that area, just not that particular city.
All right. You didn't go to the Eros Museum. Brian, have you been to Provincetown?
I have not. I've not made it there.
Yeah, Toys of Eros. It's on Commercial Street in Provincetown. It's nestled. It says right there it's nestled. Be careful. And don't do that on company Wi-Fi. All right, Pat Welter and Brian Murphy, both from WRAL TV5. I appreciate you helping me just get my jokes out.
Yeah, I think you got a home run here with Bildo. So trademark that now before Jordan does.
Kids must be out of the car. All right, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Pat could not hang up fast enough. Quick.
No.
Before I get in trouble.
I forgot they were there.
Quick, before I get in trouble. All right. We got a break. When we come back, the Hall of Fame voice, radio voice of the Carolina Hurricanes and Hartford Whalers for 39 years. Chuck Kaiton on Game 2, the series, and more. Next.
From the heels.
Touchdown, Carolina.
To the Canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. The NBA Conference semifinals are here, and even though we are without a king, no more monarchy in the NBA playoffs, we are still ready for you. And FanDuel, for new customers, $200 in bonus bets await when you place your first $5 wager. You don't even have to win it. How good is that? FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. The NBA Conference semifinals in full swing. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
There's no party like an all-star party. The NASCAR All-Star Race roars into North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's back May 16 through 18 for a no-holds-barred, old-fashioned mountain showdown. NASCAR's biggest stars going for all the money and bragging rights under the lights at one of racing's most iconic tracks. Metal will bend, dreams will end, and the fun? Well, that doesn't stop all weekend. Kick your May into high gear. Get your tickets today at northwilkesborospeedway.com.
Imagine a school where you could study AI and ancient Egypt, become a National Honor Student, join a cooking club, or code the next big video game, and do it all in a comfortable space. Your own home. Welcome to NC Cyber Academy, a K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school that provides you with a flexible, personalized education designed to prepare you for college and a career. Visit myncca.com and discover a learning experience that works for you, your family, and your future.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Every day, people battling addiction suffer in silence. Because of stigma, they fear judgment. They fear being labeled, and too often, they don't get the help they need. But you can help change that. Join the Governor's Institute and be a superhero in the overdose battle campaign. Learn how to break the stigma, support those in need, and save lives. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero to get involved. Be a hero, fight stigma, save a life.
It's not about the cars, the speed, the action. It's not about the party or the long weekend. It's about them, the ones that gave everything. This Memorial Day weekend, we honor the fallen at America's Home for Racing.
The 66th running of the Coca-Cola 600.
To the people of North Carolina, for 70 years, you've helped to make PBS North Carolina a trusted friend in your home. We've watched history unfold with Henry Louis Gates Jr., explored new worlds with Mr. Rogers, and found treasures together on Antiques Roadshow. Your support has helped us continue teaching, entertaining, and inspiring generations. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
This is Adam Gold.
I told Tim, who does the afternoon show, I said, I'm about to turn this game around. We need Cheez-Its. So I went to go get magical Lucky Cheez-Its, and guess what? Boom. Period 2, tied it up. And then at the end of the game, I still had like 8 Cheez-Its in the cup left, and I said, Lucky Cheez-Its.
There you go. The Adam Gold Show.
Chuck Kaiton, Hall of Fame, 39-year radio voice of the Whalers Hurricanes franchise, joining us to talk a little hockey playoffs. We're going to start, obviously, with the Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. If you're Carolina, do you feel good about 1-1, or do you feel like, man, we probably should have been 2-0 up based on the way most of this series has been played?
Well, I think it's really interesting you mention that, because I know that they did play an extremely good game on game 1, but I look at it a little bit differently. I don't know what's wrong with the Washington Capitals. I mean, we know the style of play that Rod Brindamore wants to play, and it seems like they're executing it for the most part, like you said, for most of the first 2 games. But what's going on? I watched the Washington-Montreal series, and I was not that impressed with the Capitals, only for portions of the game. And it seemed like it was the same way yesterday. They seem to, outside of the second period and parts of the third, they seem to be very tentative. They don't seem to be fluid in their motion, and they don't seem to be able to handle some of that forechecking pressure that we know the Hurricanes can put on. So is that going to change in the 2 games in Raleigh? I don't know. But as far as the Hurricanes feeling like it could be 2-0, yeah, I think they should think that, and it would be quite an advantage, just like Edmonton has against Vegas right now.
Chuck Kaiton joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. See, that's the way I looked at it last night. Like, I mean, certainly you don't hate being 1-1. But based on the way Game 1 was played on Tuesday, I mean, it was a little bit alarming that the Hurricanes didn't draw even until middle of the third period, but because they should have been ahead in that game. And then last night, when you have Game 1 in your pocket, I thought we would see a little bit more dynamic offensive play. And I think that's the part of this that's really bothersome to me, is that for all of their possession in the first period, they really didn't have that many good scoring opportunities. I do think Washington's desperation defensively had something to do with that.
Yeah, I think you're right. There was no question that Spencer Carberry and Kirk Muller and the coaching staff must have said, hey, guys, remember we were the ones that finished first in the Metropolitan Division, and we were 13, 14 points ahead of the team we're playing. Not that we disrespect the Hurricanes at all, because they know what they're in for. They know that, for the most part, Rod's team is going to give it a good effort for 60 minutes. They're never going to quit, and they, like a couple of teams this year, like Edmonton, like Dallas, have made third-period comebacks in these playoffs more than once. So they should know what they're in for. But I think you're right. As far as the Hurricanes are concerned, this has happened for years, where they get a number of shots, but their scoring opportunities are at sometimes good, sometimes not so good, sometimes quality, sometimes not so quality, and it's been something over the years, all their playoff years, not even just the years that Rod's coached this team, but even in the past, I'm sure it's been very frustrating for Hurricane fans to see that lack of goal scoring when you need it, and the lack of, as you say, assertive play. So I agree with you to a certain extent that once you had that one game in your pocket, it should have been, I think, as you said, a little bit more assertive in Game 2. But the good news is they're going to be playing in front of a ravenous crowd Saturday, Monday. So what are you going to do? I mean, they've got that advantage, and now it's going to be a challenge for the Capitals to get to that emotional state and beyond in order to maybe steal a game in Raleigh.
Chuck Kaiton is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Yeah, I mean, I've been asked about what can the crowd do for Carolina. I think the crowd can do a lot. I think the team needs to provide the crowd fuel for that, and that should come in the way of a goal, maybe two. And again, really, to come out of the two first periods we just saw with no goals, to me is alarming's not the right word. It's, I guess, unfortunate is probably more accurate. When Rod has control of the matchups at Lenovo Center coming up Saturday and then Monday, that should give him a little bit of an advantage, except that I don't think Spencer Carberry did anything to avoid the matchups that maybe Rod wanted.
No, I think you're right. I think Spencer Carberry looks at it this way. The only person that he can't put on the ice in a key defensive situation when they've got the lead is, ironically, the greatest goal scorer of all time now, number 8. So that was quite interesting in last night's game, and rightly so. I mean, he's never been accused of being the best two-way player in the National Hockey League. So I think Carberry's not worried about it. He's a 4-line coach. Yeah. He doesn't really, it doesn't matter. I think Rod Brindamore's got a little bit more of a challenge. I don't know if this Jankowski kid's going to play in games 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But that, I think, is going to be one of the telling tales as far as their depth at center ice. So I don't know. But it's going to be incumbent upon Washington to dictate the play. If they're going to get anywhere and win one of the two games in Raleigh, for them, I would think it would have to be tomorrow night. And to take a 2-1 lead, because I think it would be very difficult if the Hurricanes win tomorrow. I think it's going to be tough for the Capitals unless you have a miracle period like the Devils had, where they had a 3-0 lead and blew it that game against the Devils. That isn't going to happen very often in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I wouldn't expect Washington to be in very good shape if the Hurricanes take that pivotal game 3.
All right, you 3-goal periods. We're going to get to that before I say goodbye to Chuck Kaiton. with a former Hurricane. But here, the thing about Ovechkin, he's been basically invisible in this series through 2 games, and I'm not completely surprised by it. Going up against Stahl, I think Stahl can handle Strome, Ovechkin, and whether it's Beauvillier or even if they put Protas on that line, and Protas is fast too, but I think the Stahl line is equipped to handle that. So I'm not that surprised that at 5-on-5, Ovechkin and company haven't really done much.
Yeah, it's really funny because, while he's asserted himself physically with some big hits, you can't change your age, and you can't change the amount of miles he's had on his body. And it's very taxing for him. But he's still an inspirational leader on this team, Adam. You can't forget that. And between him and the kind of performance that we've seen from Tom Wilson, especially in last night's game, they need that kind of inspirationality, if that's such a term, in order to help them through. Because there's a lot of guys there that have played very ordinary hockey that are not playing as physical as they did in the regular season. And I think that has to be a little bit of a concern for Carberry right now. The Capitals just don't look like in any of the games they played, whether it's been, their power play kind of helped them out of the Montreal series, but they're going to have to be a lot better because I think Hurricane fans can rest assured that they know what Rod Brindamore's team will give them every night, especially when they play at home.
Yeah, by the way, Tom Wilson was amazing last night. It is fascinating to see his transformation from, as I keep saying, goon who can play to great player with goon tendencies. All right, now let me ask you about a former Hurricane and 3-goal periods. What do you make of what we have seen over the last, 4 games from Mikko Rantanen? 8 goals, 14 points, and has completely taken over when needed.
Well, it doesn't really surprise me. I still scratch my head, Adam, and you're closer to it than I am as to what happened in Carolina. I mean, is it a fact that he didn't cater to how Rod Brindamore wanted to play the game? I'd still befuddled by this because he's the Mikko Rantanen that we all knew from the Colorado Avalanche days. And then some in this series. Now, I don't know if it's, the fit or the fire that was lit under him. Maybe Peter DeBoer had some magic words for him or whatever. But I still wonder why it didn't work or why it potentially didn't work with the Carolina Hurricanes. And the only thing I could tap onto was that it was a very emotional deal for him. He never really wanted to leave Colorado, from what I understand, and really they weren't that far apart money-wise. But for some reason, the Avalanche felt that they could move on from him, and I thought they made a great deal because I know that Rod Brindamore loved Jack Drury, and I know he loved the offensive skills. Who doesn't? Martin Necas. So. It unfortunately backfired on the Hurricanes there, but I have a devil of a time wondering why. But I'm not surprised Rantanen's doing what he's doing in Dallas either. No,
he's been amazing. Look, I think if you went back and we all watched all the games before Four Nations, Rantanen was playing well. He wasn't, clicking on all cylinders, as nobody could expect after the trauma of that trade. And you're right, he never wanted to leave Colorado. I think the agent called a bluff, tried to call, or the agent was trying to play hardball, and Colorado basically said, you know what, we're not going to deal with this. We're going to move you now, because they wanted Necas. They were going after him. They thought Necas might be involved in another deal. And I know they had been dangling Necas around the league, especially after the strong start. But once we got to Four Nations and they made a personal decision that it wasn't going to be Raleigh, then I think, unfortunately, Miko just checked out. And he wasn't playing with the same level of intensity, and that was no good for anybody, and basically left Carolina with no choice but to move on. They did the best they could. Getting Stankoven and a couple of first-round picks and another third, that's not awful for a guy who didn't want to be here. So, but Rantanen has been fun to watch, and I'm always going to call him like Patrick Marleau, a former Carolina Hurricane.
That's right, as brief as it was, right? I mean, but it's interesting. Listen, I think when you look at players and situations, there's a lot more to it than I think fans think. These guys are also human beings with feelings and emotions, especially when they get girlfriends and wives involved, and never mind families, which he doesn't have yet, but he does have a girlfriend. And, these are the things that happen from time to time, and it's up to managements to kind of realize that and, react accordingly. So you're right. I think that mentally it seemed like Rantanen did wait for the other trade shoe to drop, so to speak, and did check out mentally. It seemed like that. Your observation is correct there.
Chuck Kaiton, Hall of Fame radio voice of your Carolina Hurricanes and the Hartford Whalers for 39 years. Enjoy your travels, sir. I will check back in again.
Okay, we're going to be going away soon, and hopefully we will be checking you out from far and wide, wherever we are, thanks to TNT and ESPN at good old 99.9. Thanks, Adam, for having me on.
Thank you, Chuck. I'll talk to you soon.
You got it. Take care.
He's the best. Chuck Kaiton.
Yeah.
All right, we got about 90 seconds left. There's a lot of interesting things to read in terms of people bringing up, I think, fascinating points about Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson, and the University of North Carolina. The university has issued a statement saying that she's not banned from anything. Pablo Torre, where this story originated today, who reported that Hudson was banned from the football facilities, is standing by his sources. And David McKenzie points out that the university is in some ways trying to thread a needle in that she's not an employee of the university. They don't have any – I mean, I guess they could ban her, but if they do that, they're just creating an untenable situation with the head coach, which is why when I thought, I don't imagine that they've banned her. But I do imagine – and David McKenzie, intellectual property attorney, somebody who's been on the show before, does suggest that highest level of football program might be open to interpretation. Because the highest level of the football program is Bill Belichick. And I don't think he's going to tell Pablo Torre that they banned Jordan Hudson. Anyway, this is we're going to deal with this until football starts, so we'll have some fun with it.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Adam Gold Show.
I'm legitimately emotional about this. I know. To watch the handshake line at the end and to see Pesci and Slavin and Stahl and Aho and Brindamore. I wanted to just have a camera on Brett Pesci. I thought it was interesting that there was a lot of love for Dougie Hamilton. Even Eric Haller. Aho and Haller were talking like they were old buddies.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.